My name is Werner. Welcome to the BaryBot 3D channel. Hey guys, I'm going to show you how I got to this point of being able to fill up my stainless steel tank with water. It really turned out amazing. I'm super happy with it. I just been working on it off and on. Been pretty busy lately. Machining the pads on the frame really made it nice for getting that table fixture in there. I had designed some spherical washers, just like Mike had designed, and it turns out I didn't really even need them. It was so accurate. I'm 3D printing some of the gutter system here. And I've prepared quite a few parts for the next video, and this will be shown in the next one as well. Here I'm printing the fill nozzle. This is a large diameter, 2-inch fill nozzle. That'll put a nice stream, like a blade of water, into the tank for filling it. It also turned out really nice. It's pretty heavy duty. This you'll also see in the next video. I'm preparing some aluminum plate. This is 5/8 inch thick, 6061 aluminum plate. I use my table saw for this stuff. People are always amazed, but it does an absolute beautiful job. I use a bimetal, 10-inch bimetal blade made by Makita. And I pretty much have that in my saw just about all the time. I use it for wood and everything, and it just works awesome. I'm also preparing here some stainless steel, 304 stainless steel round. These are for the standoffs for the table fixture. This really nice Lennox blade that I showed you in the last video just does an awesome job. Here I'm working on my lathe, just getting all those little round standoffs machined to size. I went ahead and through bored it, and then I tapped both ends. One end has a 1/4-28 fine thread. Those are for my adjusting pieces of ball thread. The other side is just a 3/8 16 thread, and that's what I used to fasten it to the frame. I really like working with stainless. It's really fun. Here I put in some Viton O-rings. Those will make the seals. I also used this Loctite 565 for all the all thread. I had a buddy of mine help me with the stainless steel main part of the tank, and he just got this beautiful 6,000 watt IPG or IPC laser. Super awesome. He's also got some nice hydraulic bending equipment. So he helped me with this part here. Somehow he didn't get it quite exactly the way I had in the drawing, but I had to make a few modifications to it, and but it turned out pretty decent. I'm just deburring it with my favorite little Dynabrade belt sander. You'll see me using this quite a bit on this build. I rub my hands over all the edges just to make sure that I got everything smooth. I'm using 2% lanthanated. I pretty much use this for everything. And a number 12 ferric monster cup. You can see these sink plates that I have fastened to the stainless. This is a trick I use, angling. Instead of having a straight butt joint in a corner, I put an angle on the sheet metal, and it just makes the joint come out so much cleaner. You can see me using a pulse. It's a 1 second pulse. For all the stainless work, is I really like using that 1-second pulse. It keeps a lot of the heat from getting into the sheet. I used my chop saw here to cut a bunch of the 1.5 by 1.5 structural tube you see here. This is all 304 stainless. And I'm just getting everything fitted and cut to size so I can take it over to the fixture table and get it all welded up. You'll find this stainless steel tube is a son of a gun. Boy, you start welding it and it starts warping and bending like crazy. But I was able to go ahead and heat straighten and mechanically straighten it to get it exactly the way I wanted it. Here I'm just scuffing up everything to give a really good mechanical tooth. Again, I've got some 60 grit belt sanding paper on my little belt sander here to give it a real nice mechanical tooth. The silicone adhesive that I'm using it sticks like a son of a gun to this thing when you get it really prepared correctly. It really works great. I'm using some little washers here, and these are basically spacers. I just go ahead and super glue them in place, and this is where I can apply clamps. It'll keep that 1/16 inch that I'm trying to achieve in between these two pieces, so it's got room for the silicone to sit. I'm just double checking everything before I put it in place. Here I've got everything masked off and I'm starting to get ready to put the adhesive in. Okay guys, I got another operation to get started here. What we're going to do is go ahead and this stainless steel structural tube, I'm going to go ahead and adhere with silicone. Picked up, this is my favorite stuff from McMaster Carr, and this is what we're going to use today. And I've got all my material set up here. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to double glove myself. Sometimes when you're working quickly and you just want to be prepared, and you can just easily pull off one glove layer. It's kind of nice. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get myself set up with double glove. And I got my popsicle sticks. And I don't know if you use these. These are kind of cool. These are red caps is what they call them. You can put these little, they're almost like little condoms you can put over the tip of your silicone. So when you're doing a big project, you can keep your tube fairly good. It really only works for maybe a week or two. But I'll go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do is put 2 beads right here on all the mating surfaces, and then I'll go ahead and slip the tube in place and then clamp it up and go ahead and just squeegee off using some of these popsicle sticks here all the material. And I've got this layer of tape nicely adhered, so the very last step will be to peel all that stuff up, and it'll leave a really nice crisp edge between the 2 mating surfaces. So let's get started here and see how this goes. We'll go ahead and put this in place. Alright, I did make marks on all of this so I can see where it is that I wanted to clamp, and I'm going to try to leave myself enough room so that I can go ahead and still get a tool in there to clean things up, and including my fingers. I made marks here. You can see these little O's show me where the the washers, those little spacers, are located so that I can be sure that I don't pinch somewhere where there isn't a spacer. I think I can go ahead and start pulling tape off. All right, guys, that looks really good. Let me take you over and take a look. You can see what a nice job it did in here. As you can see, just a little bit of preparation, installing that masking tape really does a nice job once you pull it off. And you can rest assured this will outlive me as far as durability. Here I'm preparing some stainless steel parts to put the hinges together. You can see I kind of got things fixtured on the table here and throwing in some tacks, and then I welded on the back side. They turned out super nice. What's really nice about this type of hinge is that you can pop the doors off very easily just by lifting straight up on them. Okay guys, I'm getting the doors prepared to put in the silicone gasket. And what I'm doing is I'm just using that same silicone adhesive that I used to put the structural member onto the tank. I'm using that same product to adhere this, and it sticks like a son of a gun. You just got to clean this up really good with denatured alcohol, and it makes an excellent bond. So right now I'm just preparing the doors, and what I'm doing is I'm gluing in these little guides that I can leave in place. I'm just hot melt gluing them with the best made. This is one of the best hot melt glue guns for production stuff you can get. And so what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit on, and you got to get it positioned exactly where you want it, because as soon as it hits the stainless, it cures up pretty quickly. So then I just put it in place, and then that's good. I'm doing another little one here on the side. And see, what I did is I went through with the belt sander and I gave this a really nice mechanical tooth for the adhesive to stick to. The beauty about doing it this way is it's really easy if you ever want to replace it. You can just slice it off and then adhere silicone to silicone. Works really well. So I'll just get the rest of these in place. I got to cut up a few more. I'm working right over here in the wood shop today. Cut up some more of these little strips on the table saw. Just squared up a corner, or squared up an end on this. Then what I'm going to do is just fit it in here temporarily. Just kind of see what size it needs to be. Now I'm quite certain that these are nice and clean because I just ground them with the belt sander. So I'll just wipe these down with a little denatured alcohol. Even though they may look like they're clean. Probably be a good idea to wear gloves doing this too, because even wiping it down, getting the oils from your skin, it's not a good thing. So I'm going to go grab the silicone adhesive remover, and then we'll give them one final wipe down using gloves. Alrighty, this was the tip of the gun the other day that we prepped with this this red seal. Let's see if we got some. See how nice that is? It's still good, and that was a couple days ago, so those little things are really nice. Now the idea is just to put a very small bead in here, and this is more or less just a temporary holder, because I'll go in and put a fillet on each side of the silicone cord. So what I want to do is just put a really even bead of silicone down trying to be fairly careful and do a good job on this. If you put too much, then it oozes all over the place and won't look nice when I get done. But you want just enough so that it makes a really good bond. Okay, that looks great. So you just put a bead down in there. Just made it nice and uniform. Now that's all left to do is to go ahead and put it in place. This is the square corner here where it's the other seals. The end of this one's going to come in and butt up against this corner right here. So looking good. Go ahead and we'll let that cure up, and tomorrow I can go ahead and put the fillets in it. Alright guys, in this operation here I went ahead and masked and just put a bead of silicone in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull up my tape to leave a really nice clean edge on the silicone. Usually I leave this to just let this dry up before I pull this layer off, but let's see if I can get it everywhere. Okay, I'll let this sit for a day to fully set up and we'll be good. The top two rolls of tape you see here are made by 3M. It's called fine line tape. And the reason I like it so much is not only does it leave a fine line between either paint or silicone in this case, but it's very easy to put on and then take off. It also makes really nice corners. You can pull it, stretch it, and put it down around corners to make a really nice look. I cut up some wood blocks here that I'm going to put, use a hole saw, put a semicircle in it. And I'm using these for standoffs, a little fixture to hold this glass in place. Basically, it's providing the thickness of the sheet metal along with a 1/16 of an inch for the silicone. I've also got little guide blocks here so that when I drop the glass in, it's perfectly aligned. Here you can see I've already pulled the tape off, and it really looks super. I had to fabricate this little stiffener, which I figured I would probably have to do. And I just, it was a piece of 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch 304 stainless that I just shaved a little bit off so that I could have a little more pinch clearance with the silicone cord. Of course, anytime you machine stainless, it bends. Just made a little makeshift tool to get this bow out of this piece of stainless. And so I'm just going to stick it in my vise here and kind of work it. And see if I can get it to straighten out some. It's amazing how springy this stuff is. Oh yeah, Went just a hair too much. Wow, that worked pretty good. Just about perfect. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Very nice. I find myself using my custom Berry-built lift all the time. This table and this tank is now about 150 pounds probably, and my lift just picks it up like butter. So I took it over from the wood shop area back over to the metal shop because I had to install this little round tube you see here. I had to get clever with some fixturing on my mill. This is for machining the table fixture. I had to put some fasteners in on the end. So I went ahead and mounted it up against an angle plate and to go ahead and machine the ends of this these pieces of material. Here you can see a detailed view of how the standoffs are working. And the lower spherical washer that you see there, I actually omitted. I did leave the upper one in, however, it really wasn't necessary. And this is the quarter 28 fine thread, so it just gives me a little bit more flexibility. I slotted the top of this piece of all thread for a screwdriver so I could go ahead and use that for adjusting. You can see the black 3D printed spacer there. That's to give me isolation between the workpiece and the rest of the tank. That's a ceramic washer you see there, that white washer. These two fasteners will be easy to remove, and so I can remove the whole left-hand rail there. Quite often I'll probably have that rail removed. I just wanted to have the availability of it. This is the next part I machined up and turned out super nice. This is for the drain. It's an adapter for the drain. I tell you what, I couldn't have been happier with the way this thing turned out. And I had it full with water for about an hour and it didn't drop a drip. So I was super happy about that. Here's a little bit of how it works. You can see it compresses that cord there on the far side. And then as you start drawing it up tight, I've got a piece of Delrin that captures the edge of that side door and pulls it in as the clamp is being tightened. So as soon as you get it latched and you start pulling it, it draws it tight and makes a really nice seal down in this corner here. I have all the silicone cleaned up, by the way. It's also got the second layer on, but this was just a video clip before I had that completed. Yeah, it works super good. Robin said, "Where's the fish?" I had to eat the fish. I was working so hard on it. Yeah, really neat. Thanks for making it to the end of this video, guys. And please, please leave a comment. Let me know if you have any thoughts and give me a like. And please subscribe if you're interested in this build. My next step will be working on the XY stage. I'm really excited to get into that. Hope you guys stick around for that one.